Hi, welcome to Module 2. So we're going to look at the various campaign types that we want to have in our email marketing strategy. Maybe we start with one, but on the whole, you're going to see how these overarching categories really make sense, depending, again, on where people are in their journey with you. So we want to map this out. We call it the customer value journey. And we want to do this before we spend a dime on paid advertising, because otherwise you're just throwing money out there and you don't know who you're targeting or why, or you're simply not reaching people depending on the stage they're at in their journey with you, and thus likely wasting money because it's not as segmented and tailored as it could be. So again, we can call it the funnel, and we're going to look at it like a funnel, but it can be a journey, or it can be, just straight up kind of a product process that they follow. So this is the age-old ADA. You've probably heard about it, especially if you've got any marketing textbooks around from the 90s. And we start with the top of funnel, TOF, MOF, BOF, maybe you've heard of. And really what we're talking about here is sort of the amount of time that we want to spend in our efforts up top, generating that awareness and those interests from new leads that haven't heard of us yet. And then usually what becomes a little bit less time, money, and effort in getting people to take action at the bottom. But it's not always the case. Some people have to spend a whole lot of time in the conversion stage to get people to pull the trigger, or just to simply, flip over to the other side and become a subscriber. It doesn't always have to have revenue involved, and it's not just exclusive for e-commerce. So don't think of it that way. There's a lot of different conversions and goals that we can define. But either way, we're talking about the always on type of campaigns or efforts that go on at the top. And this is where we are going to define our lead generation campaign. We are generating new prospects for whatever it is we're selling. And if this was a social class or discussion, we would be thinking about our sort of more generic introductory, nice to meet you, here's who we are type posts and content, or ditto for a blog or a podcast or YouTube videos, just that really introductory awareness building stage. This can be for existing clients in your fold, or sorry, people in your realm and your geographical area. It could be that you're selling a lot to females and you really need to build awareness with males. And so that becomes sort of a new cold prospecting target audience for you. Or you could have been doing really, really well in your current country, and a whole new cold audience is a look-alike audience in Australia or in, the neighboring state. Either way, these are cold campaigns that we're running, and they're really meant to be always on, evergreen type campaigns where someone can sign up anytime and get whatever it is you're promising as a result. So we'll look at those lead generation campaigns in a second. Next, of course, with our warm leads, if we were building ad campaigns and audiences, these would be things like repeat customers. They've bought from you once and it's been a while, or maybe they've never purchased, but they've been on your website and you've got their information because you have a pixel on your website that is generating an audience and sending it back to Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn to build a new form of dynamic audience for you. A lookalike audience can be, again, one that is really well-formed, hot audience in your market that becomes a lookalike warm audience in another market with similar profiles and characteristics. But again, we don't really know who they are yet. So warm can be a lot of things, but on the whole, I like to think of it as someone who's maybe heard of you, maybe they've bought from you, and you need to keep them moving along. You need to re-engage them or get them more convinced that you are exactly what they're looking for. And then hot goes without saying, existing customers, longtime subscribers, or people that are just working their way through a quick, it could happen in 5 days, a really quick email sequence where they're opening, they're getting closer to the finish line. And now they're a hot kind of prospect at the end that you're ready to convert. And they're getting a different type of email than the person who didn't open a thing along the way. So let's look at what that looks like as it relates to our email campaigns and the three big ones we're talking about. Again, lead gen. That's that cold, always on type campaign or list building effort that we really need to consider. And we'll look at a few ways to do that with web forms, and then what we like to call velvet rope offers, or ebook downloads, freebies, any kind of incentive that's going to make someone say, yeah, I'll hop on that list. Never heard of them before, or don't know if I want to be here, but I want that coupon, or that sounds like a great tip sheet or cocktail recipe PDF. I'm in. The second one is the big one, and this is the one where we're going to spend the most time today. So the nurture campaign is something that everybody can use. I don't care what your business is, whether you're a dog trainer or a tax accountant or, a police officer. Nurturing our people and just keeping in touch, staying top of mind. Give, give, give. You're going to get something in the end, or ask. But we can't go in cold and just tell them what we're selling and hope that they buy. We nurture people along and allow them to get to know us. That's where we insert our content A words. We build authority, that they understand that we know what we're talking about because, we're an expert in our field and we're not afraid to deliver some of those examples or research or tools or insights that we can show our expertise with. There is accessibility, so that we're available. Here we are. This is me. I've pulled back the curtains on my business and I'm showing up as the CEO of this airline, and ta-da, I bet you like us a little more now because you're building trust. Authority, accessibility, affinity, same kind of idea, just building the likability factor, and many more things that kind of go into this. So nurture series are really important, and you can deliver them at whatever frequency that you want. Chances are, if you're subscribed to any damn thing, which you're probably subscribed to hundreds of things, you're being nurtured. And that's exactly what most campaigns are built to do. And then occasionally they'll have some kind of campaign in them or some kind of additional email that incites a bit more action. Fulfillment, on the other hand, is for those of us who might be selling online or, accepting appointments online or any kind of follow-up sequence after something is done. So this isn't always a sale, but it is some kind of action that's been taken, and it's in your best interest, hopefully, to send something out to acknowledge or thank and or deliver, as well as to, just build goodwill. And this is what can allow us to bring people back around. Fulfillment campaigns can go on for a long time sometimes. And it's not just a follow up, hey, how'd you like that product? And can you give us a review? It's, you may also like this, or we've got something just for you, or congratulations on the anniversary of that thing you purchased, or whatever it is. So doing it in a way that feels organic, it's not spammy, and it is baked with value is what works here. So let's look at a couple deeper examples. So if we're talking about lead gen, you've probably fallen or not fallen for this, but accepted this many, many times. So what is that lead magnet or that opt-in trigger? In a lot of cases, again, it's sign up for a webinar or a free course or get this ebook, or maybe it's even, purchase this and opt into our list. That's another form of lead generation, sort of. But it's not the traditional kind where we might have a valuable reason to sign up because someone is making it worth our time. So what happens after that little web form or that landing page? We'll look at a couple examples of what those are. You sign up, you say, yes, I'll give you my email address, and there's usually a thank you page. It's either a redirect to a landing page or it's some kind of follow-up email. And then that lead magnet is delivered. It's your coupon code, it's the ebook or whatever it is. Maybe it's not something physical. But from there, usually there's an email sequence. Not always. A lot of people do not go this far. And this is a great opportunity to introduce yourself further. If someone's going to say, yeah, I'll take that coupon code, what a fun time to send them a little mini series of emails to welcome them into the fold of your company. And that can be the first one to say, hi, so nice to meet you. And this is our team. Get to know us. Maybe you're a bit goofy or just a little bit more personal than they're going to see on your website. You can even personalize this, of course, with merge tags that allow them their first name to be included or something about them. The second email might be some kind of behind the scenes glimpse or additional content that creates value for whatever it is they just received in that ebook. It's an additional tip or usage point or something like that. It's the video of you actually making those cocktail recipes and making sure that they're utilizing it. And then the third email might also be some kind of coupon or follow-up or next step that they can take. And as we know, when it comes to websites 101, people love to be told what to do. We're kind of dummies that way. If I'm on your site and I don't speak your language, unless it's crystal clear for me as to where to go from here and why I'm here and what I'm doing and where I'm going, you're wasting my time. So if it's not clear what can be done at the end of that sequence, and it's not always just, hey, like us on Facebook, it's something exciting, or maybe there's an event or another coupon or a live broadcast or some kind of surprise and delight at the end. Amazing. Building goodwill, making us want to do more. This isn't spammy. Again, it feels organic. And we're going to look at some sequences here in a minute too, that we could also have these triggers baked in here. You've probably received some of these lead generation follow-up campaigns where they deliver your ebook, you didn't open it, and then they send you a reminder because it's expiring or something like that. Or you signed up for a webinar, but you didn't actually attend, and they saw that you didn't actually attend, so you get bumped into the non-attendees and the other people get bumped into the attendees. Now you're further segmented, and there's going to be another follow-up or another tag applied to your contact record that then stipulates what you're going to get from there. Just the way it works. Nurture. Okay, so the big one, and this can be, again, all types. This is just an example sort of wireframe here. So someone does a search and they're looking for, let's go back to dog trainer, and they find a sales page or a website, and there it is. There's your beautiful, clean, compelling page. And in fact, there's going to be a webinar as to how best dog treats for Christmas. And you're like, yes, I need to know that because I can't get enough of my dog and all her dog friends. So I'm going to sign up for that. Great. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm in. That could have been the lead generation. And then from there, again, same kind of pop-up or thank you or nurture. But now I'm pushed into a longer, more permanent sequence of nurture emails that can be that evergreen or ongoing type campaign that we talked about. And really, you're crazy not to create something like that. If someone does give you their email address, we've got to contact them regularly from there with more value and more information that they would hopefully find useful. So you stay top of mind. And if nothing else, it's that. You're in their inbox, you're staying present, and your business name or company name is on the tip of their tongue. And even if they're not opening all your emails, they see you and they're part of your world. Fulfillment. Easy if you've got a product to sell online to understand what fulfillment is, but again, it could be anything. And if we were to look at it as another type of, nebulous event, it's not a physical product. So this could be a webinar from a chiropractor talking about spine health, and he's deciding to do a monthly campaign of some kind or a quarterly free workshop, webinar, ebook, video series. Wonderful. He's using a little registration button or a sales page and something simple to get people in. And maybe sending this to existing subscribers and running a Facebook campaign to promote it to newbies in Saskatoon. And sure enough, people sign up, they get their videos, and then there's something there. And maybe that is the live webinar in this case, or it could be the product. They purchased the product, or they opted in for whatever comes as the sales pitch on the end of that free gift or initial sales pitch. And now they're receiving some kind of fulfillment style e-newsletter or campaign. For us, this is an easy one when we sell an online product. The fulfillment is, thanks for signing up and thanks for purchasing, and here's your course, here's your login, or here's your ebook, here's your tip sheet. And then from there, we can either keep them in that fulfillment nurture type campaign or the follow-ups, or we can move them in, if they've given us their permission, to our main nurture sequence, depending on who they are. They'll get into the right nurture sequence according to their preferences. So the three main types. We're going to go into the workbook, and I want you to think about this. And I know those overlapped a little bit, so if you need to, just start out with one simple one, maybe a more robust version of your current nurture campaign and what you're doing to properly reach the people on your list or that you'd like to have on your list. So if we think about it for the first one, we're thinking of them again as those cold prospects, and we want to think about who they are, if you can. Again, try to do all three, but if you need to, just go straight to the second one. So the platform or space that you might host that subscribe form, we call it a web form, or that offer, and thus where are you going to build that list? Where are you going to grow it? And likely it's a website, or maybe it's just a little link in the bottom of your e-newsletter because your website's not ready, or sorry, in the bottom of your email signature. Maybe it's even hosted on Facebook or Instagram. It could be anything as long as it's connected to an email service provider. And all of them allow you to create these web forms. There's a place within the e-news company or the email marketing provider that says forms, and that's where you build that little like first name, last name, email. Great, you get the embed code, or you just get a link to that form, so it has its own URL. But even better if you can embed that form as HTML code on your website. It just looks really pretty and it's baked in there, and it's sending those links or those email addresses back to the account. So the reason someone would join this list, why? Why should they care? Well, they just want that ebook. Or no, they actually, recognize that they need more dog training or financial planning. So let's then further define that audience. And I want you to think about this as one singular persona if you can. So who are they? What are their pain points? What are their needs? What are they missing? Maybe it's really obvious to them and they're searching for it, or maybe they didn't even realize that was a thing and that you've shown up for them through targeted social content or a conference or some other event or some way that you've landed in their inbox so cleverly or in their news feed, and you are the solution to their problems. But who are they? You've got to first know that so you know where to show up and then how to reach them in what kind of language when you arrive. So that's our lead generation. You're thinking about this cold prospect and you're really defining who they are as closely as you can, because the more we can speak to them and address their needs explicitly and individually and understand them like they're a friend and you're talking to them one-to-one, the better they're going to resonate with what you're saying. Number two, the warm lead, the nurture. So someone's heard of you, someone's on your list. How are you going to just bring them along for the ride, stay in touch, be a good friend, and serve them with what they're hoping to receive or grow with? How are you going to educate or inspire or entertain, or a combo of all of the above? And so you need to know your reasons for running this campaign, but also why on earth would they want to be a part of it and not hit unsubscribe? And this is where we fall short. We just assume that people want to be on our list, and they don't. It's permission-based marketing, and they can opt out anytime, which is powerful for the consumer. Again, it's the reason that we like email. We don't mind it as much as pre-roll ads, but we also, as marketers, as a result, we have to try that much harder to keep them interested and opening. So thinking about that persona and what they need, and really, if you're able to define your goal for this campaign or this ongoing series of emails, what is it that will solve their problems? Or what are you basically moving them towards in their pain points? And what's the transformation they might expect? And if you can't define that, then it's still too much about you and your goals and not them and theirs. The third type, fulfillment. If you've got some kind of fulfillment campaign in mind, map that out, who it would be for. This one might be a little bit more tactical or logistical, because straight up, they booked a hotel room and you got to fulfill that, follow up with a couple questions or surveys or whatever. But it might be a little deeper. So just thinking about what those emails would look like, because you're going to need to know this as we move forward in the course and in your email marketing. The fourth exercise here is to start thinking a little bit more, and you can draw this out if you want, similar to the examples in the slides before this, and what types of emails might go into that. First of all, what's the trigger? What is the thing that sets that campaign going? And most likely it's a subscribe or a purchase or something, an opt-in, but there may be another trigger in that campaign, so don't be afraid of those. There's all sorts of words for them in email marketing provider land. Decision diamonds at Infusionsoft, or again, just straight up triggers and tags in many others. But where might they split off? Or does it just end? But then what? Are they pushed into a different nurture campaign or fulfillment campaign? So you don't have to overthink this, but if you want to draw out a couple of those little icons that mean trigger, tag, e-newsletter, thank you page, whatever it is, sky's the limit. All right, take some time to do that now if you can, because we're going to get more and more detailed. And when you're finished mapping out your audiences and a bit of your preliminary campaigns, I will see you in Module 3.